Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Shout out to everybody tuning in on the playback. You're rocking with your host, one half of Enveonline, son of a Jones. And to my left,
his partner, a very loyal Knicks fan, Azar
oh
Johnson.
God, here we go with this bullshit. We got one day left in Black History Month, and you bringing in the New York Knicks,
right, baby.
That's how we starting this podcast.
Yes,
Shout out to all you New York Knicks fans. You guys gonna need all the luck in the world, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, we don't need luck. We got it.
Oh, okay.
We got it.
So let's get into it. Y'all know how we do on this podcast. We go through an array of topics, mainly talk about underground hip hop. We do our best to curate underground hip hop. We go through some sports, some current events, some political topics. We got a whole buffet for you today, man. So I had an initial set of topics that I sent to you. And right before the podcast, I go out to the door. I said, oh, what's this package? Interesting package. Nice brown box from Amazon.
Right.
Cut the box open. I'm like, oh, I didn't think that was coming for next month. For anybody that knows what I'm getting at or that knows what I do, I try to support the artist by buying the art and hip hop. So I ordered some vinyls. I ordered some packages a few weeks ago and it came through. So I'm going to show y'all what I got and we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about it on the podcast. Hand me that right there, bro.
Yes, sir.
No, not that.
Okay.
That on the floor.
Oh, yes, sir.
Shout out to Smif and Wessun. I didn't think this was going to come through to next month. They album, The Infinity. Got the vinyl packet. See, again, this is what hip hop feels like. Can't stream this. The artwork, the thank yous.
Facts.
I would take the vinyl out, but we ain't got all that.
Nope.
You can put that back.
Yes, sir.
And because it came in a bundle, I got the CD and the cassette tape. And for those of you asking, yes, I do have a tape player. Do got a Walkman in my book bag, but I wanted to call an audible. I'm like, yo, I ain't think this was going to come to next month. And since we talk about hip hop on our platform, what better way than talk about an underground group that has over 25 years within hip hop? And I know you know about them because you're from Brooklyn.
Right.
So before I get into my initial thoughts of the album, can we just do a couple minutes of saluting Smif and Wessun and their contribution to hip hop?
Yeah, Smif and Wessun, they're two, Tech and Steel. They're part of the Boot Camp Clique. They come out of Brooklyn, New York. They definitely rep Brooklyn. I think they rep BK, and it was also part of the Bring Back the East Coast movement. I think part of that whole with Black Moon, because they were after Black Moon. Like when Black Moon came in through the door, they were next, and they didn't disappoint. Bucktown was their first real single, and that smashed. And then next thing you know, they did Soundboy Burial. I mean, you got hits. I mean, Smif and Wessun just got too much. I can't go down all the list of it, but their first album was a classic. The Shining, that was a classic. That was probably, it wasn't
Is
5
it that
months.
right there?
Yeah, this right
See,
here.
you got to show it, man. I gave you gems.
This right here.
You young cats don't know nothing about that.
This right here, this is a classic. This is it's not 5 mics, it's 4.5. But I mean, that's about as close as you're gonna get to 5.
What's your favorite tracks from that classic album, The Shining?
Stand Strong. Stand Strong is my favorite one. Let me see. Bucktown, of course. Soundboy Burial. I think is it Recognize? Recognize the remix. I mean, it's just so many on here. Let's Get It On, and I mean, they're most notably known for Bucktown. That's their first single. But I mean, Smif and Wessun is no joke, man. I mean, they're the epitome of Brooklyn. They rep Brooklyn to the best of their ability. I mean, you can't put a price on it. Like, it's just, when they say Brooklyn, a lot of artists have come out of Brooklyn, but they lived up to all of it. Like when you think of MOP, Brooklyn. When you think of Mano, Brooklyn. When you think of Smif and Wessun, Brooklyn, definitely Brooklyn. And you know, I think if they're one of the greatest groups of all time. They're one of those greatest groups of all times. They just couldn't get, I don't know, they never had the backing. Smif and what makes them dope, for a lot of people don't understand. Back in the days, being on a record label mattered. So when you ran a Def Jam or you ran a Priority or Arista or all those big major labels or Interscope, Smif and Wessun didn't have that. They had Nervous Records. That was an underground like indie label. And somehow with Black Moon too and Helter Skelter and all of them, they somehow propelled it and surpassed that, even though all the way up to radio play, doing tours to where major labels wanted them. I think had they started out like with a Def Jam, or they had a backing like how Dame was backing Jay or Puff was backing Big, definitely they would be recognized as one of the greatest groups of all time. And they are one of the greatest groups of all time. They don't get the recognition.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with you on that. And some of that might be contributed, as you said, the commercial success. But boy, oh boy, as I've been shouting out from the rooftops on this platform, from other interviews, we are currently in a whole new renaissance for underground hip hop. And let me shout from the rooftops again. The MCs that is leading this new renaissance in hip hop are the older artists. The whole ageism of, oh, you can't be a 40-year-old rapper, that's out the window, man.
Yeah.
Some of our best MCs right now that's rocking the crowd, that's putting on great art is over the age of 35, over the age of 40.
Yeah.
And with this new album right here, Infinity, that's majorly produced by Ninth Wonder and the Soul Council.
Tough, right?
I know we're supposed to wait. Like, we're not supposed to jump out the window and say, oh, this is a classic, because I did listen to the album and my cassette player before I came up here. I listened to the album twice. Hey, they got Smith and Wessun got something. Let me say this. You know how I talked about hip hop growing up and how I want artists to rap their age? You ain't got to talk about the streets and the shoot 'em up, bang, bang stuff and all that other stuff when you was 20 and 30. This is how, when we heard Nas, when Nas's Ladies dropped with Hit Boy, we say, yo, this is grown up Nas.
Right.
And it sounded great. This new album, Infinity, with Smith and Wessun, sounds great. They rapping their age and they rapping their ass off. And the production from Ninth Wonder is amazing. Now, again, I'm going to hold off on saying it's a classic album.
Right.
I'm going to be fair, wait a couple weeks, listen to it a few more times. But from what I heard right now, Ninth Wonder and the Soul Council, the fucking production on this is amazing, man.
Really?
Very melodic. Very melodic. And here's where I'm going with that. So there's been a couple categories on the Grammys. And maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So Rhapsody won a Grammy, her first Grammy, for best melodic record featuring Erykah Badu. And also Pete Rock and Common was nominated on that. I thought Pete Rock was going to get it, but Rhapsody got it. There's 2 records on this album that I can see getting nominated for a Grammy.
Wow.
Now, whether Smith and Wessun don't care about the commercial success, whether they don't care about Grammys because they're real authentic hip hop, I'm telling you, from what I heard, there is 2 records on here that I can see getting nominated for best melodic record. Those records currently, Church and Black Eminence. Want to make sure I get that correct. Church. I got to pronounce it correct. CHUUCH. No R in it.
Okay.
And Black Eminence. Dope records, both of them.
Okay.
Fam, they got a Prodigy verse on here.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't know that? For those of you who didn't buy the album, you might want to go buy this album. They have a dope Prodigy verse on this. They also got a dope Sean Price verse on this. Rest in peace to Prodigy. Rest in peace to Sean Price. Yeah, my God. I thought those brothers were still living the way they was spitting.
Yeah.
And they do, metaphorically, they living through their music.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I heard on these records, yeah, Black Eminence is featuring Prodigy. And the other record is featuring a person by the name of Jalissa.
Okay.
That Prodigy record might get nominated. I'm putting this out there on Enveonline.
Wow. It's that serious.
Here's my take. Not only is it a dope album, my take is they're about to get the commercial success they should have got 30 years ago. Right. That's Smif and Wessun with his new album, Infinity. Shout out to Duck Down Records. Shout out to Buckshot.
Okay.
The track number 4, Smif and Wessun featuring Prodigy, Black Eminence. If they shoot a video to that, and they can get so creative with that video, having Prodigy voice in the sky. If they shoot a record to that Black Eminence and they build that record up by touring and performing it, Black Eminence should get nominated for Best Melodic Tune. And Smif and Wessun for this album, Infinity, should win a Grammy. That's my take on it. Shout out to Smif and Wessun. Shout out to Duck Down. Shout out to Buckshot. Great, great, great album so far. Like I said, I'm not going to jump out the window yet, but from what I'm hearing so far, amazing album. Y'all need to support the artists out there. You can get your little CD player from Amazon. Go buy you some merch, man.
Yeah.
Go support the underground.
What about, is Buckshot, you said Buckshot's on there?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, shouting that out.
Got you. Okay.
But, yeah. Actually, Buckshot is on there.
Okay.
Record called On My Soul. So, yeah. Dog.
Yeah.
Black Excellence. Let me go here, too. Give me a few seconds. Let me pull something up. Bear with us. So I wrote an album review on another album. I'm not going to cross promote the albums, but the point of the album that I wrote in the beginning part was talking about the role in the golden era of hip hop. If you remember back in the late 80s, early 90s that we called the golden era of hip hop, one of the major themes that a lot of artists was kicking with Rakim, with Big Daddy King, they was spitting knowledge, basically from the guys and nerds to 5%ers. That's slowly coming back. So when I say there's a reemergence, there's a renaissance underground, Smif and Wessun is spitting that. They really kicking that knowledge in here, and it's sounding good over records. It's not metaphorically, it's not sounding like the whole burning incense and kufis and kumbaya. They're doing it in a fly way. Same thing with the brother Ransom and Dave East. They just released a record or an album called Final Call.
Right.
That's a whole themed album of, the Final Call. You can do the knowledge on that. So I'm starting to see these artists bring back the same thing that led us in a golden era of hip hop.
Right.
It's getting cool again to kick that knowledge. It's getting cool again to speak life on these records. Right. So that's what I heard on that. Okay. They were speaking life on them records. Smif and Wessun and Still was kicking that knowledge. The same thing that we heard back in the 90s from the golden era hip hop. So I'll leave off with that because we got a lot more to talk about. But like I said, track number 4, Black Eminence, featuring Prodigy from Smif and Wessun on the Infinity album, for me, that should get nominated for Best Melodic Tune for a Grammy if they build that record up. Salute to them. Yeah. Got anything else you want to add?
Nah, just, just reiterating the same thing. Please go check out their album. Definitely support it. I hope they do videos for it so they can be pushed and promoted even further.
That's the next thing. They got to do a couple videos. If they do a couple videos for it, that's going to help build the records. Yeah. If you do a video, if Smif and Wessun does a video for Black Eminence featuring Prodigy, that could break the internet for underground hip hop.
Yeah. Facts.
So the next section, I think I'm going to name this segment Black Excellence.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the Wayans family.
Okay. Cool.
That's from our era. And recently the Wayans family was inducted into the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was important to touch on because with that Wayans family tree, the branches that hang off the Wayans family tree, what it gave birth to.
Yeah.
You don't get a Jim Carrey without the Wayans family. You don't get a David Greer without the Wayans family.
Nope.
You don't get a Jennifer Lopez without the Wayans family. And I can go on and on and on.
Jamie Foxx.
You don't get a Jamie Foxx without the Wayans family. The branches that hang off the tree from the Wayans family over the last 35 to 40 years are very heavy, and it bear great fruit.
Right.
It bear great fruit. So overall, before we get into it, what are your thoughts on the Wayans family getting inducted into the NAACP Hall of Fame?
I think it's well deserved. I mean, they've been around. They trendsetters, man. Like, a lot of people don't know. I probably can blame my age. When I was a kid, like teenagers in high school, like they was rocking with In Living Color, and it was dope. It was something. They was ahead of their time. To kind of give you an idea, like I know you see repeats of Martin and all that. They were part of that night show. So it used to be In Living Color, Martin. I'm missing some. Living Single. They were all wrapped together, and they act like skits, and they acted everything out. They were just funny, man.
That's where people getting this whole improv thing now on the internet.
Yeah, and they had like different characters.
Yep.
I thought what was so dope about the Wayans, like, I mean, there's so many of them. You could be like, yo, that's my favorite brother, but they all had the different characters. Like Keenan used to play Mike Tyson. Damon used to play Handyman. He used to play he used to do the gay dudes,
hated it.
Yeah, he used to do that. Then he was Homie the Clown. You know what I'm saying? And then what was it?
Shout out to Kim Wayne. She don't get mentioned enough.
She was like the lady
the
gossiping. Yeah.
Looking out the window.
Yeah.
You ain't hear that from me.
She was,
man,
they replayed everything like on that show, like on that Living Color. That was a trend-setting show. And then when you go back and look, then the Wayans brothers had their show, which trend-setted a lot, which is a #1 hit. Then of course, Damon did My Wife and Kids later on in life, which was very big. Marlon, he's always doing something. What movies hasn't done? And we haven't even talked about movies they played in.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, or
they written and produced like a scary movie franchise.
Yep. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, all that they was involved in. Like Keenan was a trendsetter of it. He started it all. But all the brothers, I mean, they all kind of did their thing.
Damon Wayans had his moment with Mo Money, Major Payne,
Last Boy Scout,
Low Down Dirty Shame.
Yeah, The Last Boy Scout, everything, man. Damon was my favorite brother.
He gave his rise to a superhero.
I just loved it. Yeah.
We got Blank Man.
Yo.
We got Blank Man. Come on. What other blacks?
Yo,
Blank Man and Meteor Man were our superheroes back in the 90s.
For what they were doing back in the day, they would get canceled for that now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because they used to push the envelope. But I get it.
Yo, hey, these young cats and the cancel culture, they're hard on, what's his name, Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Y'all would have wanted to get the Wayans family up out of here.
Yeah. Especially when he used to do Handyman, dude.
Don't underestimate I shouldn't say that because I'm going to get canceled. But here's a skit from the Wayans family when he's like, don't underestimate the powers of the handicap. Yeah. And again, don't cancel me. That's from A Living Color.
Yeah, facts. I love them, man. They just... they came from, they're from Brooklyn. They came from like a poor background. They didn't have everything, but they had each other, and that's what made them creative. But, if you go back and look, everything they touched went to gold, and they were all independent, and they all supported each other. So that was cool, man. I thought that was so cool about them,
And now what's cool that we're growing up, their kids are now taking over.
Really?
A couple of them have kids and shows.
I know Damon's son does.
Yep.
He has a show. I know Marlon. I think he said they just announced they're going to do White Chicks too.
Yeah.
What else, man?
Yeah, Damon Wayans' son. Yep. He's now acting like they're filling the roles.
Yeah.
Like that's the second Wayne family generation We haven't
Facts.
seen nothing like this. Like, think about it. We had the Jacksons, Jackson 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know their kids?
No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
The Wayans family has kids that are doing comedy and acting, and we're starting to hear their names come up in the ranks now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is iconic. So that
Mm-hmm.
NAACP Image Award Hall of Fame induction, well deserved, been deserved, man.
Yeah. Facts. I can't stress enough about how trend-setting they were. And if they don't do that, you know what I mean? Like it's like I said, they were around for a lot. I don't know what happened, but like, you know, like I said, they were around with Martin and Living Single and all that. They were part of all that. They were part of that whole era when it wasn't cool to have like a black show. And you know what I always respected about them? Like before, like Wildin' Out is cool, but it's nothing compared to what Living Color was.
Oh no.
But what I love about them at the end of every
respectfully, we say that respectfully.
Yeah, at the end of every show, they used to like showcase a lot of hip hop artists. You know, like Nice and Smooth came
Heavy
on
D.
there, Tupac. Yeah, they all was on there. You know what I'm saying? Like not just as appearances, but they used to let them rock the music.
What happened to that? See, you just said something important because we're a hip hop show. At the end of their comedy sketches where they brung in America to watch them, they had a special performance at the end with the background dancers, which I said gave rise to J-Lo and the others. But you saw Heavy D, you saw Nice and Smooth, you saw Tupac and so forth.
Yeah.
They laid the blueprint for what a show should be from our culture.
Yeah.
And as you said, no disrespect to that other show because we respect Nick Cannon, but what happened to that type of show?
Yeah, facts. I don't know, man. That's a good question. Real good question.
Before I leave off from this segment, you touched on a lot of points with them being from Brooklyn, saying the era that they grew up in, they may have not had much. And even Marlon Wayne said this. They didn't have much, but they had each other.
Yeah.
What can we as a community take from that?
I mean, it just said we stick together, we'd be stronger together than we are apart. Like imagine if they was beefing or whatever and doing what they was doing, they wouldn't be where they're at.
Like a Jim Jones and Cameron with a Dipset, throwing their legacy out the window.
Yeah.
You see how I segue into that?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that later on in the podcast.
And I think
I'm gonna stick on the positive.
I think all their projects, like Keenan was around all their projects. I think even though you might not have seen him in the movie, I think he was around in the background. He was always supporting them. You know, so I think like, you know, to just know that, and I mean, he broke through the door. Once he broke through the door, he brought all of them, just like our boot camp clique did. It's a Brooklyn thing, man. You bring one in, we bringing them all. You know what I mean?
So that's how Brooklyn get down?
It's facts, super facts, yeah.
Salute to the boot camp clique and salute to the Wayans family, man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
I like how you put that together.
Yeah. No, it's just what it is. They did their thing. You know what I mean? So.
You tired over there?
Nah,
man, you got to get your rest.
No, that caffeine ain't kicked in yet, brother. That's all right.
So while we're staying on the trend of Black excellence and the NAACP Image Awards, Michael Rainey Jr. earned his first Image Award. For those that don't know, the context is Michael Rainey Jr. earns his first NAACP award for his role and performance on Power Book 2 Ghost. That's major for a few reasons. Because now 50 Cent and his movies are starting to get the recognition, and the actors that he's putting on is getting the recognition by getting awards. What is your thought? Because we both like, you know, the Power Book series, and now the actors are getting nominated for Image Awards. What is your thoughts on that first?
What, for him, for Michael Rainey Jr.?
Yep.
It's big, man. You know, it's dope. I like.
Because I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, here you go. I like that he got nominated. I think, you know, he played a big part. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still mad that they took Ghost down. I like that to me, you know. So I think that's why there was some pushback. Like when the show first started, it did get better. I think he's developed as an actor. You know what I mean? Like he's developed. If you go back and look when it was first just about him, it was horrible. It didn't as like, you know, not horrible, but it just wasn't as appealing as when you had a Mario Hardwick because of the way he killed the character. You know what I mean? The way Mario Hardwick killed that role, it was going to be hard to replace it being the total. But I think he's done a great job. I think it's also great because he's a young black man and, you know, he's not even scratched the surface on what he's going to do in his career. You know what I mean? So,
and that's good to see.
big. Yeah.
What would you, Because this whole Power Book series is probably going to last a few more series for him.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see Michael Rainey Jr. do next? Because he's starting to span his role in acting.
He said he's ready to move on, but he's, if Power keeps going, he's all
got a couple
it.
more years, I think.
Yeah. He said he's ready to move on. I think he needs to. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see him in a challenging role at this point, though, because he's played the boyfriend. Yep. See, the thing about it in the Power, what I like about it, all their roles make them play different characters. Mm-hmm. So Effie wasn't just like, for example, if you had Effie, she wasn't just the smart drug dealer in the street. She was a smart, educated young girl.
And then she also showed her upbringing growing up.
Right. Yeah. Like she's multitask. She, you kind of understood her character, but she played all types of different characters. You get what I'm saying?
Same thing with Braden. And
Braden.
Same thing with Tyreek.
Yep.
So you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. Right?
So Michael Rainey Jr. earns a NAACP award a couple days after. My man about to fall asleep on the podcast.
Nah. I'm wide awake, trust me.
So Michael Rainey Jr. ruins his award a few weeks after the drama that goes down with 50 Cent and Mimi, a.k.a. Little Meech.
Oh, man.
So if you paid attention to that, there was some comments in Instagram, and I guess somebody had tagged them. They was like, hey, Michael Rainey, why don't you go help out Little Meech and mentor them? And the comment was like, well, I tried to, but he was more concerned about being big bro. Yeah. So he made it a point saying, well,
wait, what do you mean big bro? Like he was trying to teach Michael Rainey the game?
Yeah.
How is Little Meech older?
He's probably older by a year or two.
Okay.
They seem the same age, but maybe Little Meech is bigger. I don't know. I will have to look at the Wikipedia. But that's what the comment said. He said he was more concerned about being big bro. So, and seeing how everything went down with Little Meech and what's still happening with Little Meech, because it seems like he's making a few missteps early on in his career. What do you think he can take away from this? What do you think he can learn from Michael Rainey Jr.?
I got to look up Little Meech's age, but I think for Little Meech, I think he's getting a great learning lesson. In other words, what I'm saying,
Little Meech is 24.
Okay, I was still looking it up. I think what he can learn is that maybe he needs to focus, be his own man, and learn how to maneuver and play chess. So let me give you a perspective. Meaning, in other words, when this whole thing went down with 50 Cent and all that, I would have told his pops, if I was him, I would have told his pops, like, look, you don't do it. Like, I'm telling you right now, pops, don't do it, because think about what you're going to do. You're going to crash the whole empire with everything you're doing. You don't want to do it. And I think he tried to, but I think he just got stuck in the middle because of what his father pulled, right? But then you go, once that happened, then you go past above and beyond that, and you start.
He's starting to take pictures with Floyd Mayweather, Slow Bucks,
and all them. And the whole thing about it is like at the end of the day, I get it because of what 50 did, but maybe you should try to have a conversation with 50 and say, yo, let me talk to you, because I don't got nothing to do with this. And not that I'm not loyal to my pops, but there's a way maybe we can fix this. That's what I think he can learn in the future, because like he's going to learn the hard way. I mean, you even pulled it up. I didn't even know about it. Like they canceled the concert.
Yeah.
And then 50 went down to Miami and did his own. Yo, if that wasn't the biggest uppercut punch I ever saw in my life, like I was like, really?
This, and it's crazy because this can travel.
Yeah.
Because now people can say, well, we see how things worked out with 50. Why would we want to pull you on a roll? And then it's no disrespect to the people he's walking around with. Floyd Mayweather is almost a billionaire. Rick Ross is a mega millionaire. Slow Bucks is successful, but I'll say this again, what I said in the last podcast. Don't let those people use you. If you hanging around them and taking pictures, I hope they can employ you. I hope they can put you in some roles for you to make some money. Because if not, you're going to find yourself being a Tubi actor very soon.
Yo.
And I mean that respectfully. Woo! Because again, outside of what he was doing with 50 Cent, what other roles do you see him doing?
None.
What other businesses do you see Little Meech in? He's doing promos on his Instagram. No disrespect, get your money, but you went from being one of the most popular actors in urban TV to doing promos on your Instagram.
And I think he's a great actor.
Great actor.
Great actor, but I think that
because 50 Cent put him in acting school. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I think what's sad is like, yo, he probably could have went over to Power. You know what I mean? Like once this ended, we'll put you over here in Power and give you a character.
They could have extended it and did something else.
And he and Big Meech. I hope Big Meech has a plan.
This is what I'm saying. I hope he does.
I hope you got a plan because this don't look good. I don't know if he's gonna wait it out until Tammy, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Did you see the clip today? There was a clip that came. I forgot who it was, and I'm not trying to sidetrack, but it basically was saying like, the artists are starting to turn on Little Meech. I forgot who it was, man. I can't find it, but I saw it in the feed, and that basically it's coming out. But they're basically, Meech. If what I'm thinking, what Wack 100 said, 50's gonna release this last season, right?
Yeah, and then it's gonna be over.
And then he's gonna release what Tammy Cowan has. She has something. Like Wack said, we only seen the surface. Mm-hmm. Wait till he starts digging and starts going. Like this season was already like shot, so 50 can't do nothing about it. He's not gonna end. It's not. It is the end of the season. But there was supposed to be more to it.
Yeah, it's probably a third season. He was gonna stretch it out.
Right. So this one ain't really the end. It's just that's the last one they've shot. And that's what you're gonna see. And then it's gonna go into Tammy Cowan. That's when it's gonna get bad. And you better, Meech, for his sake, he better hope there's no third party snitching in that documentary. Because if it is, he's in trouble. He's in some real trouble. But this goes back to I don't. And I'm not trying to like be all over the place with this. I don't understand what they was thinking. Like I saw, what's his name? What's the brother's name? Not Meech, Terry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why were you taking a photo with Supreme's son? What was you thinking? Then you turn around and you could see 50 wasn't happy about that. So I hear when people keep saying, yo, why would Meech, maybe Meech didn't know? Because I keep thinking too, like, maybe it was just a situation. They ran into each other. He took the picture. And, it was nothing. It's more.
Can I ask you something respectfully?
I'm just.
Go ahead.
Can I say one more thing? It's more of like when you see that. So you like, okay, maybe that could happen. But then you saw what it was. When your brother took the picture with Preem, he wasn't too happy. So why?
Can I ask you something respectfully?
Yes.
Because you just brought up somebody that I don't understand how he keeps fitting in this story. You said Supreme's son, not right. Supreme who's in jail.
Right.
The son. What has the son do? What has the son done in his career to be taking pictures with anybody?
Nothing.
Why do y'all keep falling for the banana and tailpipe with allowing Supreme's son to wrap his arms around you and take pictures? This what got Marquise in trouble.
Yeah.
You taking pictures with Supreme's son. What is the fascination with Supreme's son? Because outside of him running his mouth on the internet, you know him for music. Do you know him for Fashion Line?
No.
Do you know him for being a DJ, a promoter?
Mm-mm.
Do you know him from TV shows? Does he have a YouTube channel?
No.
You don't know him for anything that he has done. You just know him because he uses the tagline Supreme's son.
Right.
That's my problem with Terry and everybody else that keeps taking pictures with Supreme's son. Mm-hmm. That kid hasn't done nothing for him to be taking pictures with everybody.
Right.
Y'all getting in trouble for y'all burning bridges in the industry for somebody who's getting clout off his father that's facing life in jail. It doesn't make any sense, but go ahead.
No, I 1000% agree with you. I don't understand it. Why y'all keep taking, yo, and then the thing about it is like, I guess because Ross is up there laughing, talking about, oh, you mad because we taking pictures and we're going to do this.
Are you going to employ them? That I keep saying it. Shout out to Ross. He's a very successful business person.
Right.
My question to Rick Ross, since he's playing chess and he wants to one up 50 Cent, as much as people might disagree with him, he's giving people jobs. He's blown people's career up. Mm-hmm. So when you say, oh man, well, we got real money, we ain't worried about 50 Cent, are you going to give Little Meech a job? Are you going to give Big Meech a job? Because if you can't, the only thing you're doing is, I honestly don't know, but go ahead.
See, to piggyback off what you said, I just look at it like everything that 50 did for you and your son, how dare you take a picture with him? Even Wack 100 said, he said, I wouldn't have did it. He's like, I'd have had a conversation, we cool. I don't have any personal issues with you, but you know where I'm at over here in this line. You know we can't be doing that. So if you want to do like a benefit concert, I'll get back to you, and then I'll talk to 50 like, yo, your man over here, he want to do something. If you feel the type of way, I ain't going to do it. And I know Meech being a boss of the caliber boss he was, it's hard for him to do that. But let me say this. You know what my response is to that? Did you go to jail? Wasn't they tell you when to get your ass up and wake up and go to bed? So if you figured that out, I don't know why you can't take an order and saying, yo, maybe I need to go check this out and do this, because they wasn't giving you $5 million and putting your son through acting school. They was just telling you to do what you was going to do, and it was what it was going to be. So please help me understand, because it was going to be 50.
You got the biggest point in this whole situation, because I never heard nobody bring that up on the internet.
Yeah.
All this, yo, who is he to call shots and tell? Because I heard that too. Who is he to tell to tell Big Meech what to do? Use this in jail, and they was telling you, wake up. It's 5 a.m. Hold up. You got visitation. We need to check your balls and your ass to see if you're smoggling anything.
Yep.
Because when you in jail, they gotta pretty much humiliate you before you go see your family to make sure you're not smuggling in drugs.
Facts.
So you took go ahead. You hit the nail on the head. Go ahead with that point, man.
Yeah. So you going to bed. You being told when to go to bed, when to wake up, when there's visiting hours, when you can eat. So you're being told all that. So when I'm hearing people say, "Yo, why who's 50? Who you gonna take orders from?" He was taking orders already for the past 18, 20, it was 20 plus years. And you mad because you're gonna take orders and not really take orders. It's just showing a line of respect. You don't stand next to somebody you know that got an issue with. Like somebody got an issue with you, we ain't standing next to him, man. You're not gonna do that. Anybody in my crew, in my camp, let me tell you, there was an example of a situation. And I'll never say any names. There was somebody that had an issue with years and years and years and years and years ago, right? And I dealt with it the way it needed to be dealt with. But they try to think like, oh, it was just between me and him. So when they saw my man, they try to talk to my man. It's like, nah, I ain't rocking with you. You got a problem with him, you got a problem with me. I can't be over here. I personally don't got an issue with you, but we not gonna sit here and act like we don't got no issue. You can't be over here, man. You gotta go over there. So the point I'm making is that at the end of the day, Meech know that. Meech know the rules. And Ross sitting up there laughing. I'm on the side of Whack 100. Yo, you don't give me a few wing stops, we gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
because you cost me some money.
Wack made a good point. He said, yo, if you don't give him at least 2 or 3 Wingstop franchises, you need to get a fade.
Yeah, because you put me in a bad spot. So, and that's not to mention, he's going to need it, because if what we're thinking about with Tammy Cohen, or whatever her name is, it's going to get bad. It's going to get real bad.
So on more current events within hip-hop, we got a whole Dipset dilemma.
Okay, yeah, you need to school me on that, because I've seen everything.
So it's multifaceted. There's a few bullet points in this Dipset dilemma.
I think I'm missing a part. Go ahead, though.
So first, shout out to Jim Jones, because he just released his album today.
In the video, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Church's Steps.
Check it out on Enveonline.com, because Son of Jones will be posting it soon.
Already posted it.
Oh, see? That's something.
Album's already up on the website.
On his A game at all times. He's flooding it so much I can't keep up. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go check out Enveonline.com where we curate hip hop.
Yes.
But he's on his press run, so he's doing promo for the album, which he's supposed to be doing. And Jim Jones stopped by the Breakfast Club. And I guess Charlamagne, sometimes he likes to instigate. And he brought up some comments where he kind of threw out there some words that Cameron used towards Jim Jones by saying, oh, you tricking people out your position. So Jim, you know how he is. He just flipped out. Man, I ain't never sent nobody to jail. You know what? F that. I'll box you right now. I'll box his head off. He's referring to Cameron. So Jim Jones pretty much called out Cameron on the Breakfast Club in front of all of New York. Pretty much said he'll box Cameron's head off, or he wants to box him for $10 million. So pretty much he just threw the Dipset. Not just him, but Cameron too, because Cameron's not innocent in all this as well.
No, he's not.
They just threw the whole Dipset legacy in the trash, because you don't hear the Locks talking about they want to box. You don't hear Andre 3000 and Big Boy talking about they want to box, and many other groups. You don't hear Wu-Tang, even though sometimes they're separated. So they just threw that legacy in the trash. So that's the context. What are your thoughts on our 2 drunk uncles fighting at the barbecue?
I think it's sad. I think it's very sad. I think because I thought at this stage in their careers, I thought this would be done. But let me make this clear: when you look at that versus, that's why they got torched because they weren't on the same page. None of them were on the same page. Juelz, Jimmy, and Cameron, and they came up there to get a check, and that's what
they didn't love hip hop.
No. I mean, it's like you said, yeah.
They didn't love hip hop.
They came up there to get a check.
The Locks loved hip hop.
And it was like apples and oranges. And even though we loved a lot of their hits, they just weren't on point. They weren't on point. So it didn't look right. But the point not to switch subjects, to go back to that, I think it's sad that y'all still going at it. Y'all still going at it. At this stage, y'all still going at it. I don't understand what the point is. So I don't know what to say. I mean, at this point, y'all should have Dipset. There should be Bird Gang, Skull Gang. Well, I'm not going to. Let me just put this: Bird Gang, Skull Gang. What is it? It is what it is. Talk show podcast. Yeah. I would say UN, but I don't want to get into that conversation because me and you both know I have mine that scenes. But the point I'm making is, they should have their movements and they should be doing what they're doing. You could do a whole Dipset tour and do it. But y'all are so busy beefing. You see Joel stay out of it. He ain't got nothing to do with that. But I think it's just sad because, I hear Cameron talking. He's like, yo, you was a fan. And,
I'm going to get into that at the next segment.
Okay, I'll leave it alone. Let me just say this. I think it's sad. I think it's, and I understand that Jim is feeling a certain type of way because they was talking about him like he was a kid. So I know he probably wants to box him. Mm-hmm. But at this stage, you got to look at it like,
I'm going to get into Cameron. That's why I say he's not innocent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, like, what are you doing? Like, you got to find another way to end this situation where it's like, come on, man. Like, if you got a real problem with me, let's sit down and talk about it and we'll figure it out.
So that's the point where I'm going with my viewpoints on this. Mm-hmm. Respectfully, I don't want to hear neither one of them as grown 48-year-old men going on 50 talking about they want to box. A, we don't want to see it. Nobody wins from Dipset boxing. It just tarnishes the legacy of what we grew up off of. B, there's a famous viral clip of both of these dudes on stage. I guess they were in Canada performing. They were like in their 20s. They're so happy and gleeful. They started to do the patty cake. I know y'all like, what the hell is it? They were on stage. There's a viral clip of Cameron and Jim Jones doing the patty cake. Literally. Oh, do the patty cake. They dancing and twirling around as brothers. So I don't want to hear that who's from the Bronx and who's really from Harlem. Y'all really love each other. Y'all just got communication issues as grown men. Facts. Going to what you were saying. Yeah. Y'all don't know how to communicate properly, which a lot of men, sometimes we have problems with. And more importantly, y'all egos is too big to say I'm sorry. Yeah. See, me and my partner have been doing this a long time. There's been times that I've been wrong. I had to say, yo, I fucked up. Yep, it's been times he's been wrong. Correct. But we can correct each other and there's no ego involved. Facts. Yeah, yep. I guess I got too much money to say I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's one issue for the Dipset dilemma. But the whole Jim Jones calling Cameron out, I'm going to put a pin in it because part 2 of this is another Dipset dilemma. And here's where Cameron comes up. We all love Cameron as the leader of Dipset. America's tuned into his podcast. It is what it is. But he's making more enemies than good.
Think so, huh?
He recently had some words in his last episode or a few episodes for Chad Ochocinco. I know you had to see that because that was viral. Yeah, what? So he made some comments. I'll give y'all the context. Cameron on It Is What It Is made some comments because I guess they asked him his thoughts on Chad Ochocinco. So he went on a 2-minute rant about how he really doesn't F with him and, F him and he's stupid. I tried to offer him a job, but he went over there and started sucking off Shannon. This is what he's saying about Chad Ochocinco, who I'm going to put some context, has been a professional athlete his whole life. You really want to bark up this tree? A 6'1" former football player that looks like he's still in top shape? Yeah. I'm just gonna keep reiterating who Chad Ochocinco is from South Florida, from Miami. But hey, what do I know about football players being strong and fighting their whole life? Whatever. So it got back to Chad Ochocinco because Shannon brought it up. And he handled it gracefully. He said, look, I don't have no problem with him. It's all love, but I'm not hard to find. If you really got a problem with me, you can find me very easily.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying it is what it is, pun intended. If I'm a sucker and I'm this, that, and the third, and you're calling me out my name, Chad Johnson is a man just as much as you is a man. So my thing with the Dipset dilemma and pinpointing Cameron not being innocent, you got Jim Jones wanting to knock your head off, which, whatever. But now you're talking reckless to a football player. Let me ask you something, and I mean this with all due respect. If those two run into each other, respectfully, what do you think Cameron's going to do to Chad Ochocinco?
Nothing.
I'm not saying Cameron can't fight.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he don't know how to scrap.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between throwing hands with people in the hood and throwing hands with the top 1%. Football players are the top 1% of athletes outside of soccer players, I think.
Yeah.
Chad spent 30 years keeping his body in tip-top shape, being what, 5% body fat?
Yeah.
He still looks ripped up.
Facts.
And don't get me with the whole, Cameron has an entourage. I'm pretty sure Chad got some people too.
Yeah.
So my thing with Cameron is
you go ahead.
You starting to let your mouth get you into some trouble that your popularity and your money's not gonna be able to get you. I got a point, but I'm gonna let you go ahead before I throw my point down.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, yeah, you can't. Yo, you ever see Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
Like
no.
He's in his 50s, and he still looks like he'll punch a hole through you. Do you understand what I'm saying? He looks in better shape than some people I know in their 20s. Hear what I'm saying? And he been out the league for years, but he kept himself always on point. What do you think? Chad Ochocinco's like,
they're the same age. They're like 40. He's like a year younger than Cameron, but you can look at Chad and see that he's still in shape.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, he offered him a job and he didn't want to take it.
But man, that's one thing. And then the whole, he was hating on me. Look, let's be honest. That was friendly competition, Cam. They got a podcast. That's like somebody right now saying, yo, we got the better website than Enveonline. Okay. I'm not about to curse you out of your name and call you a sucker and all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, you just went extra with it.
Right.
So let me say this. Here's my friendly advice to Cameron. And I know he's rich. He got $100 million in the bank. So these words may fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
But I was raised by a 6'3" man from Mississippi who instilled a certain level of morals in me and taught me how to be a man. Like my father really had custody of me.
Right.
So here are my words to Cameron, and hopefully it heeds to him. Your popularity and your money is not a replacement for manhood. I'm going to say this for the people in the back.
Right.
Being popular and having millions and millions of dollars does not replace manhood. What do I mean by that? You're not going to be able to brush your hair and freestyle your way out of an ass whooping. Because I know that, when things get heated, he goes up there with the jewelry and I'm the cool popular kid at the lunch table. let me freestyle my way up out of this. Real grown men ain't gonna want to hear that.
Yeah.
He's starting to remind me of the cool kid at the lunch table in high school. Yeah. There was always that popular kid back in high school that could do no wrong. Yeah. That had all the girls.
Yeah.
Everybody said yes to.
Yeah.
But there came a point in his high school career that he actually got checked. And when he got his jaw rocked, that whole mystique and that whole aura went out the window. You know why? Because your popularity don't fight for you. Your popularity don't pump that heart.
Yeah.
Either you got it or you don't. And again, I'm not saying Cameron can't fight, but don't let your popularity and your money write you a check that you're not willing to back up.
Facts.
So hopefully he heeds these words, because if not, I don't want to see another True Life incident.
Oh God.
I don't want to hear I don't want to hear another incident, because that was you know, I have to say allegedly so we don't get sued, but the industry said allegedly that True Life punched Cameron in the eye in front of his security. And True Life is nowhere the shape or the size of a Chad Ochocinco. So the popularity and the freestyling ability didn't help you when True Life punched Cameron in the eye. So I don't know what he's going to do against Chad Ochocinco.
Oh, God.
That's what the industry said. Hypothetically, allegedly. The industry said back in 2006 or 7, True Life in the Lower East Side ran down on Cameron while he was with his security and punched him in his face, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to True Life after he punched Cameron in his eye. So I'm going to leave that there because I think Chad Ochocinco is a lot bigger than True Life. And I'm going to leave that there. So that's the Dipset dilemma.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Next topic.
Leave it alone.
So there was something that was kind of sad, and I'm going to bring it up. Let me bring this article up so I can get the context right. So, Southern University student dies after collapsing in an alleged off-campus fraternity ritual. For those of you who don't get the context, D9 organization or fraternity, you have pledges. And this is actually not new. There's actually been some stuff happening in the past with other fraternities of pledges actually dying because of these rituals. I don't, I'm not in the fraternity, so I don't know. So that's the context. So first, I would like to say rest in peace to the brother Caleb Wilson from Southern University. He was actually a part of their band team as well, a young black brother. So that's the context of the situation. Before I got my questions, what do you think about this story so far?
That thing is crazy. That thing is... I thought they outlawed that, man. They
under
still
the guise
doing
of
that?
hazing.
Yo, Eric Thomas said something one day. He said, I don't know why you in this frat. He said, I saw this kid one day. He said, I talked to the head dude that was in the frat. He said, why you got this kid washing your car? How that's gonna help him advance and get better on in life? What are you doing? Teaching him what? What are you teaching him? He already gonna have it hard enough in school, but he's already gonna have it hard enough coming out of school. Why? Why would you do that? What ritual to what? What ritual?
And I got to call out the fraternity because I don't want to paint a broad brush and paint them all bad. So the fraternity that Caleb Wilson collapsed and died, he was doing a ritual for Omega Psi Phi, which is a major fraternity. So Go ahead.
I just think at this stage that if you want them to pledge and go through some things and whatever, man, but that ritual stuff, that hazing and all that's got to stop. That should have been stopped. And the kid died?
Yeah. And then people got on the internet and said, yo, I know that it's a secret society and they want to keep the secrets, but we need to find out what's happening to cause these people to feel abused. Because even the ones that don't die, there's been talk of abuse. There's been talk of abuse from these fraternities, that some of these pledges feel abused. Now, they won't speak up about it, but that's a whole nother incident. But this person actually died. And there has been people in the past that died. There was a story up here at the University of Albany years ago. There was an Asian student that was pledging for a fraternity, and they made him drink too much water. And if you know anything about that, he actually had brain swelling and died. That happened years ago up here.
What is you doing? What is you doing? Why would they do that? To prove it, to be part of what? Y'all could tell you that was my son. Somebody got to go. You gonna have to just leave this earth. I'm sorry. You got to go. You have to go. Because nobody takes the L for this, do they?
No. See, now I have a question coming up.
Yeah.
So go say that one more time.
Like nobody takes the L for this. Nobody goes to court. Nobody goes to jail.
Because nobody won't speak up in the organization. Now, these organizations, I believe, are incorporated and so forth and so forth. So here goes my question towards this story first of all, once again, rest in peace to the young brother Caleb Wilson, who tragically lost his life pledging for Omega Psi Phi. So here's the $1 million question. Since some of these fraternities and their chapters want to act like gang, since they want to act like gang, and now you actually have people dying pledging for these fraternities, will we see the first ever fraternity RICO?
That's a good job. That's a good point.
I'll say this again slowly for the internets. Since some of these fraternities and D9 organizations and sororities want to act like gang, and people are being abused, and there's actually rumors of sexual assault,
crazy,
and some people are dying, will we see the first ever fraternity or sorority RICO that starts putting these organization chapters in jail? Because something has to happen if y'all don't want to tell the rituals, because it's a secret society, and you know the top level people, who's coming out of pocket for this chapter?
Yeah.
Because again, I understand there's chapters in each organization. Is this chapter going to get shut down?
No.
Like somebody died from a ritual. What's going to be the accountability out of this? Oh, well, we didn't pressure him into doing it, and because I'm pretty sure that's going to come. I haven't heard a statement from Omega Psi Phi.
What do you mean they didn't pressure him? You this pressure the minute you walk in there. If you don't do something, they call you out. You know, the smacking of the paddle. To be honest with you, man, it's just some European devilish mess that, to be honest with you, you keep trying to convince yourself that it's about you and it's really not. And then it's for the culture and it's really not. And it's just some clownish stuff that, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, does nothing for you. It has done nothing. I keep saying this, and I'm going to leave this right here. This is the last one to say about it. Other than the fact that a child died, that was somebody's child. Now, me and you are fathers, so we know. I'm telling you now, I would make it clear to that chapter, you better point out who it is, or it's going to be you. Somebody has to go. So you better point him out, or the cops better get to him before I do. That you can never do that to my child. And think you're going to walk around here and living to tell that story? Or somebody going to go, and I'm probably going to get the head. Whoever the head of that chapter is, I'm probably going to get him. I don't even care if it wasn't him. An example's going to be made. They're going to go, no, I ain't doing that. No. Because the next parent might do that to me. And let me leave this here. This is the one golden gem I want to leave about this, because I've been listening to a lot of Dave Anderson. I think I sent you a clip of him the other day. With all these frats and all this power and so-called fraternities that they have, why are we still in trouble as black people in America? I'll just leave it there.
Say that again?
Maybe they did a lot for Kamala and the presidency and black people and black men in the world, and not letting us be. I'm just wondering where that power's at. Another child died. Another black child died, as if we don't already got enough going on in the neighborhoods and
our communities
and all that. And that's not including.
This is why I said, since some, not all, but since some of these fraternities and sororities and D9 organizations and their chapters want to act like gang, and people are being abused and there's sexual assault, and children are being killed because of the pledges, when are we going to see the first ever fraternity or sorority RICO charge?
Yep.
Because then when they get involved and start shutting down chapters, then maybe we might start getting some accountability.
Yeah. The fact of that they're not being held accountable, and you're telling me like, yo, they ain't even getting cases.
I haven't heard a statement yet. Maybe there is. The article just came out not too long ago, but there should be there should be somebody on the camera right now interviewing with Roland Martin, explaining to Black America what happened.
Yeah.
You need to talk, or whoever's the head of that chapter in Omega Psi Phi, I'm pretty sure they're with their legal team, and their legal team is telling them to keep their mouth shut.
Right.
But somebody needs to come out for this organization and release a statement.
I would just be patiently waiting. I would be patiently waiting. Like, yo, I can't wait. Like, you better, like the first person I have on my, if I don't ever find out who it is through that whole investigation, the head of that chapter, he needs to get his affairs in order. I can assure you it's going to go left. And I don't care if he's black or not. We got to stop the BS needs to stop. It needs to stop. What are you getting out of that? And I don't want to hear, because I'm going to be part of this frat and we're going to be in a certain companies. But we don't own those companies. We don't own those companies.
And we're going to get into that with the next topic about us having ownership and companies. And then we see what happens when our show get kicked off of air. We see what happened when our show gets canceled. Yeah. We're going to get into that next, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't understand how that's okay. Like, we don't own those companies. So my whole thing is that at the end of the day, we did networking to what? A good job? Networking to what? I don't want to hear that, man. I don't know. It kind of goes back to the equivalent, and I know you talked about this because we've seen it, and it's a clip that done went viral with Gilly the Kid. Like, he's like, we need you to come to Rock Nation. He said, why would I do that? He said, why? He said, so I can sit there and be on the lawn and Jay-Z go in the back with the rest of the people that own stuff and be like, see, I told you I still got this on lock. Now cut me a check. No, I'm not contributing to that. When you want to show me a powerful frat, you want to say, yo, we have this school, we teaching young black boys, we're helping the community, we're building a Black Wall Street. Other than that, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's all smoke and mirror. That is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. It's going to help you to be a worker. It's going to help you to be part of what Rockefeller implemented the system to make strong workers, not strong owners. That's another conversation for another day.
So once again, rest in peace to the young brother Caleb Wilson.
Facts.
And condolences to his family. And I hope his family gets real justice.
Yep.
I hope there's some accountability for Omega Sci-Fi and somebody is held accountable for that.
Me too.
So next topic. I want to bring up what happened with Ann Reid over the last few days.
Oh Lord. Okay.
So Ann Reid had a good show.
Mm-hmm.
And the readout. Shout out to Ann Reid. We salute her. She's been an important voice for us in our communities. She's always talked up, always been brave, always brought up the issues, and MSNBC pretty much took her show off the air. There's been a lot of uproar within our communities saying, yo, we have to have Ann Reid back. And I definitely agree. Before I get into the couple of questions, what is your overall thoughts on this situation?
I understand. I'm not happy that they took her off. I don't think they should have, because that's another lane, an avenue of a voice that needs to be heard from our perspective. But also, let me make it clear too. And Stephen A. Smith blew this up. He said that basically, what is his point? He said that they lost 57% of their viewers. Or was it 53? She lost 53% of her viewers.
She, or did the network for other reasons?
The network did.
How did they contribute that to her?
Because her show lost 53% of viewership. So for them to pay the bills, if 53% of your viewership is gone, sponsors are not, and people, all those advertisers are not going to want to rock with you, because at the end of the day, it's not panning out. It's not going to work. So to make a long story short, it's business. So I don't agree with it, but it's business. And they said that her viewership was going down when the whole Trump thing was going on before during the election, and then it got worse after the election.
We know why.
You know what I mean? So then they had a new president, what they're not telling in the story from NBC. I think her name is Rebecca Cope something, but whatever. The new program director for NBC, she the one that decided, like, yo, your show has to go. So she got let go of. I think that she fell on the sword too. You know, I mean, you knew you can't keep throwing shots and poking. And even Donald Trump, he couldn't wait when he heard it. You know, he threw a shot. You know what I'm saying? And Megyn Kelly threw a shot. And I mean, it is what it is. But now this is a chance for you to go out and do what you want to do.
So the other point that we made about us not owning these companies and so forth, that's where I was going with it, to segue into this. Ann Reid has been a powerful voice within our community, and I salute her for the work that she's done.
Facts.
I salute Ann Reid for the readout show and every commentary, because she's always put it on the line.
Yeah.
She has a large enough following to brand herself and to do what Roland Martin and others are doing, which is have your own media platform.
Yes.
You don't, like, I tune into Roland Martin all the time just to support Roland Martin. You don't think people would do that to Joy and Reid?
Yeah. To Joy Reid? Yeah, yes, they would. They would, most definitely. I think so. I just, you know what I mean? I think she's going to have to go out there on a limb. You know what I mean?
Right now, Joy and Reid on her Instagram page alone has 1.1 million followers. Not 100,000, 1.1 million followers. There's some countries that don't even have that many people. You have that many followers following you. You can easily start up your own network. Or maybe, why don't you team up with a Roland Martin?
Yeah.
How crazy would that be to see Roland Martin and Joy and Reid teaming up and doing back-to-back shows and merging their entities and companies together?
Right.
Kind of how the Wayans family did, pitting each other on.
Right.
Sticking together.
Right.
I would love to see that. Hint, hint. Hint, hint, Roland Martin.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, Joy and Reid. We would love to see our elders within Black media team up as a force and be a powerful punch. I didn't want to see her lose her job. I saw all the commentary, oh, good for her. I'm not that way.
Right.
People have a family to feed. She's not hurting nobody. She ain't doing nothing malicious. I didn't want to see her lose her job. Hell, I've been laid off in the past, so I know how that feels.
Right.
But if there's ever a time right now with your 1.1 million followers and your fan base and your social capital to team up with other Black medias and create a network, it would be now.
Facts.
Got anything you want to add on to this?
No, I just think, like I said, once again, it's sad that she had to lose her job, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. But there's a silver lining in this. I think, like you said, like we'll give her Roland Martin and maybe, you know, do it that way.
And let me be clear, just in case somebody says, because I know there'll be commentary, oh, she don't need a Roland Martin. Guys, I'm not doing the man versus woman thing on this. I'm just talking about us teaming up as a community.
Right.
Just imagine pitting Roland Martin network and his following with her following.
Right.
It would be insane media-wise. So before y'all think I'm trying to say she needs Roland Martin, no, I understand she doesn't need Roland Martin. I understand she can do it by herself as a Black woman. But I'm saying for us to be like, as we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, to be like the Wayans family.
Correct.
To stick together and pit each other on.
Right.
So I want to also give some game to us. And by us, I mean the other members of Black media. Right. I'm not just talking about the guys at the top with 100 million followers. I'm talking about the little cats.
Right.
I'm talking about that journalist out in Connecticut trying to get a media credential to cover UConn. I'm talking about the person over there trying to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about Black media needs to win, then it has to be all of us. Not just the 3 people at the top that got 100,000 or 100 million followers.
Right.
All of us have to win. Because I talked about this on the last podcast when I talked about kind of in a way I see people saying we need Black media. Then when we reach out, they ghost us. They don't answer our emails.
Yeah.
And me and you've been in a space long enough where we can honestly say this because we cover sports. They treat us crazy in the sporting arena.
They do.
They make us jump through hula hoops to get those media credentials.
They sure do.
Oh, and we already talked about it. You called the NFL out about their lack of representation with the media.
Right.
Because we done applied a couple of times to get media credentials, and we have a long resume.
Facts.
It ain't no DEI over here. We don't need DEI. We have a resume to back up what we did within sports.
Facts.
We're not looking for the preferential treatment. We're saying there's a problem because they're not letting Black media in.
Correct.
So that's just my whole get up on that. Hopefully Joy and Reid bounce back. She will bounce back. And like I said, hopefully this is used as motivation for her to start her own network, and we'll see great things from her in the future.
Right.
So next, going to have a decent sized discussion about underground hip hop. So we already started the podcast off commemorating Smif and Wessun and their new album that just came out. But as I've been yelling from the rooftops of this podcast on this platform, while we're curating underground hip hop. We're currently in a full-blown renaissance of underground hip hop. There's a lot of great things happening, not just in New York, everywhere. Down south, Miami, Cali, Midwest. There's an underground movement where there's some dope artists getting busy, producing great artwork. So this kind of came to a head within New York, I want to say a week ago. There was an underground show, and I'm going to pull it up. Give me like 1 minute. So I recently went to an underground hip hop show within New York at the Berlin, which is Lower East Side Manhattan. And the show consisted of an artist by the name of Rem and Grey God. Probably heard of Grey God.
Yeah.
Then a lot of dope underground acts, such as Iada, such as the Good Brother Spoda. The music was done by DJ Anthony Mace, and a lot of other underground acts that showed up. Let me just say this off top. As a fan of underground hip hop, and as somebody on the media side that went to that show, that felt like a moment. You know how we have certain moments within hip hop where you like something happened at Summer Jam, and then we come back and say, "Oh, that was a moment within hip hop."
Right. Yeah.
For the underground, especially in New York, February 19th, that show that they put on, that Rem and Grey God and all the underground acts contributed to, felt like a moment in underground hip hop. And I got to spread the gospel because I was there.
Okay.
I guess I'll start here. First, I haven't been to an underground show in a while. I'm talking about probably before my daughter was born 6-7 years ago. The last time I went to a show in New York underground, the DJ was all right.
Okay.
He was playing some New York music, but then he was doing what a lot of DJs was doing back in the day.
Yeah.
They was playing that out of town stuff, and New York wasn't sounding like New York. Shout out to this DJ. Shout out to DJ Anthony Mace, because for the whole night I was in there, New York sounded like New York. Nothing but underground hip hop music. Nothing but underground artists. Who's the dude that got the he be like Bing Bong from Coney Island, the rappers?
Nems, yeah.
He started off playing Nems. Salute the Nems.
Yeah, Nems is ill. Nems is definitely ill.
He was playing Underground Boot Camp Click because they were in the building.
Right.
He was playing the underground artist that was performing. He was playing Rome Streets. He was playing Rock Marciano. All the dope. He was playing 38 Special. All the dope underground music that people are talking about all night. And there was not one out of town record. And it's no disrespect. We love out of town, but New York got to sound like New York because that's where we lost our way.
Right.
So I first want to salute the DJ Anthony Mace, because you did a hell of a job with the music, man. You made New York sound like New York, and you laid the foundation for the whole night. You know how we always commemorate the DJ on our platform?
Yeah, all day.
Big salute to the DJ.
All day we do.
The DJ is so important in hip hop, man. And they don't get enough flowers sometimes.
No,
so that's why I feel the need to spread the gospel. And shout out DJ Anthony Mace for what they did on February 19th. I believe they're doing it again. They have another show, I want to say March 7th, somewhere in New Jersey. You can find a flyer on DJ Anthony Mace's wall, I believe. But they're taking that show on the road. They're doing it again, man. And like I said, that felt like a moment. Now I want to talk about what happened at the show and talk about underground hip hop.
Okay.
So the special guest that came, you know who Ella G is.
Yeah.
Ella G showed up.
Yeah.
tore that stage up. I turned around. Rusty Jux is like, "Yo, what up?" I interviewed him. Salute to Rusty Jux. He hopped on the stage and performed his song that he made with Pete Rock. He tore the stage up.
Wow.
Then it started getting a little packed in there.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, Sean Price's widow, Bernadette Price, hopped on stage. She started freestyling.
Really?
She's dope. Yeah.
You have your camera with you?
Yeah, but my audio I got some of the footage, but the audio got effed up.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But that's why you got to be there, man.
Yeah.
Yo, sometimes you
time,
got to
I
be in
got
the
you.
audience.
I'm on it.
But I'm talking. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
Right.
This is what I'm telling y'all, man. I'm spreading the gospel. That was a moment. The underground energy from all the acts, from the Walkers. I can't name all you guys because y'all know it was a few of y'all. Passport Rav, Rem, Spoda was rocking the crowd.
Wow.
They all had stage presence. They all had, elite performances, breath control, freestyling ability. Like, it was a thorough show for underground artists. Then at the end of the night, the last performer was Great God. Man, Great God tore that stage up, man.
Oh, God.
Great God tore that stage up. It was so crazy that, like, you had to be in the venue to know what I'm about to say. So Great God tore the stage up with his catalog. And he said, yo, I gave y'all what y'all wanted, but now I'm gonna kick a positive song. We gotta speak some life into the babies. So then somebody yells out for the audience, nah, Great God, keep the stove on. Keep the stove on. And he started laughing. He was like, I'll give you one more song. So he performed that song. Then he kicked the positive stuff. But it was dope seeing that, man. Like I said, I haven't been to an underground show in such a long time. It was dope to hear the DJ keep it New York by playing New York artists so we don't lose our sound. It was dope seeing all those underground performers. Shout out to, I forgot to mention, there was one performer by the name of Iada.
Okay.
I think she's from Brooklyn. I'm not too for sure. Dope stage presence. Dope lyrics. She had a dope set. She performed, she had a joint song with Spoda. Then she had her own songs. I was like, yo, I became a fan.
Right.
Like, some of these guys I knew from the internet, but some of them I didn't. So it made me go look up their music.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, now I'm going to get in tune with the artists I don't know, which is a key to going to these underground events. Last but not least, again, I'm into supporting the artists. So I'm going to bring up some of the artwork.
About to go in the stash, cuz.
About to bring it out. So shout out to Wavy the God, who's a great underground producer. He also does a lot of work with Rome Streets. He has a album out with Rome Streets called Buck 50 that came out last year. So I had to buy the vinyl. Salute the Wavy the God, salute the Rome Streets. Had to pick up a vinyl.
Okay.
Shout out to Rem. Brought his vinyl and CD. Got the CD over there. Hold on. Since y'all think I'm playing with it. Nah. Hold up. We really support hip hop over here. We really, no strings amongst us shall prosper.
Classic.
Dope art. That's what Enveonline is about. We curating the underground. Great God got his vinyl. He autographed it. Salute the Great God. Did your thing, man. You ain't see this.
Oh my God. No,
what's
he
this?
Didn't pull the 8-track out. Oh,
how old are y'all out here?
That's the old school. Yeah.
Where my 50 babies at? This is merchandise.
Oh,
this is why I said it felt like a moment for underground hip hop. This how creative the merch is for some of these artists. They're not just bringing back vinyls and CDs. Had an exclusive 8-track. Now, obviously, we don't have 8-track players in our car, but just appreciating how creative the artists are getting with their merch because physical sales are back. I told you that last year. Y'all got to go back through the podcast. What did I say about 9 months ago, eh?
Yep, you called it.
I said, for you underground artists out here, y'all better start getting with these distribution companies and printing up CDs, vinyls, and all that because these record labels are paying attention to y'all. They're starting to sell vinyls. They're starting to sell CDs and cassettes. They want to see, oh, hey, if I put out a limited edition CD or cassette tape, can we sell 10 or 20,000 copies? The second one of these artists, mainstream artists, sell 10,000 CDs, oh, it's going to be back full-fledged. So I'm telling you, underground artists, to stick with the creativity. Yes, we don't got 8-track players in our car, but I appreciate the effort and the artist doing this, and I'll buy this every time. You can buy vinyl players on Amazon, so yes, I appreciate the artwork from the artist. I appreciate the effort. This is why I said it feels like a whole renaissance going on right now.
Right.
And that was another key element within the underground show that happened at the Berlin on February 19th with all those dope artists. It gave an opportunity for the underground artists to sell their merchandise. Like, y'all understand these artists ain't making no money from streaming.
Right.
Unless they're a mainstream artist on Def Jam getting 100 million views. The average underground artist is not making serious money from it. So unless you're actually out here pitting out CDs and cassette tapes and vinyls, this is the best way for an underground artist to make money. I don't care where you are, New York, Miami, Mississippi, Alabama. If you got a small following, if you got more than 500 people following you on your social media platforms and you're an underground artist, you better get with the times. You better get you some dope merch. Not just a t-shirt line. You better print you up some cassette tapes. You better get back. Yes, we still, I would go in my bag, but I don't want to interrupt the podcast. But yes, I have a Walkman in my bag. Yes, I have a CD player at home, and I could buy a vinyl player from Amazon. Like I said before, if you sell, let's say you come out with a project in January, and you manage to sell 100 copies of that CD, that cassette, that hard drive, because people are selling flash drives, that might do more for your career as an underground artist than getting 1,000 streams or 100,000 streams. What does 100,000 streams mean? Can somebody help me out with it? Hey, Ty, what does 100,000 streams mean?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
I know what this. Yeah, I know what this means. You put $25 in my hand. I give you a CD. We just made a hand-to-hand connection. I met you. You can autograph it. We can build. We can network. This hand-to-hand connection with the physical merchandise that you can do with these shows, how creative you can get, goes further than 100,000 streams. I know what this is. I don't know what 1,000 streams is. This, I'd rather sell 100 of these. So salute to all the underground artists that was at that show. I'm out here spreading the gospel, telling the good word of what y'all did. That was a moment within underground hip hop at the Berlin, February 19th. From the DJ Anthony Mace, kept it all New York. From all the artists, from the special guests. That was hip hop, man. I know I did a lot of talking. You know, you had the luxury of growing up within the golden era of hip hop, and you've seen a lot. What would you like to see in 2025 from certain artists? You got anything you would like to see?
I just kind of feel like what Nas said, like he needs people from artists from his era to come out and start creating music, because it's that artistic flow. Like, you know, even though I know Snoop's not number one on the character list right now, he just released an album and it's banging. Him and Dre went and sat down. If you heard the music, it sounds just like it sounds like dope music is getting a lot of airplay. So it's not because you're older, you can still create dope music. So just keep creating it. Like I think for whatever reason, artists started feeling like once they got to a certain age, they had to stop. Then what you were gonna do? You've been doing this for 18 years. What you gonna do?
This is why I brought up the album. The Infinity by Smif and Wessun, and I said, all that ageism within hip hop, that went out the window with this album,
right?
Because we all know Smif and Wessun is up in age,
right?
And they're rapping very gracefully on this album over very melodic beats.
Still on beat, still on point.
Ain't still on beat. They sound all fucking amazing.
Wow.
Like I said, my take from this album is track number 4. Black Eminence featuring Prodigy is probably going to be nominated for a Grammy if they push that record. That's how good the music is. But go ahead.
No. I just would love to see a lot of the artists that decided to put the mic down, because I think it was more because of age and labels and a new era. I would love to see them pick the mic back up and do what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Who won a Grammy last year? Big Mike?
Yeah, Big Mike.
Big Mike is damn near 50 years old.
Called that.
And I called that.
Yeah, you had called that.
I listened to that album, Michael. I say, yo, if this get nominated for a Grammy, I wouldn't be surprised. Ageism is out of hip hop finally, and I'm glad. Because all the dope fam, everybody's talking about Rock Marciano. Go look up Rock Marciano's age. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to call out his age.
Right, yeah.
But he ain't in his early 40s. He's in his late 40s. And he's some of people's favorite art. I heard young cats on Twitter talking about Rock Marciano's in a top 5.
Right.
So it's about how dope you can be on the mic. After COVID kind of reset everything, people are back in their bag.
Yes.
You see Redman. We're both big fans of Redman. He's doing great work.
Yeah, he's Illmatic, man.
We all saw what Nas did a couple years ago.
With Hit Boy. Yeah. It's insane. Insane.
So salute the underground hip hop. We got some gems coming on here. Just wait on. I got some interviews lined up moving forward. Like I said, with our platform, we cover a lot of sports and fashion, but with hip hop, with this thing of ours, we're gonna keep curating the underground. We're gonna keep curating moments and bringing you exclusive stories and interviews from artists you never heard of. If y'all want what's on the charts, y'all can easily go find that. Go pick up a XXL and they'll tell you what record label signed this artist. Cool. You want that underground shit, that artist you never heard of, that producer you never heard of, that's spitting on that real shit, come to Enveonline.com. We got something for you.
Facts.
So that ends our segment for music. Now we got to touch on some important current events in our political realm. So I'll paint the context. But your boy Elon Musk is pulling a fast one, man.
Oh, what's he doing now, man?
Let me pull up the article. Title of the article from CNN, which is the source, says, Elon Musk says upgrade to the FAA's air traffic control system is failing, and his company, SpaceX, needs to take over the Verizon contracts for the air traffic control. He's made his wealth. For people who don't know, Elon Musk has made the majority of his wealth in federal contracts, and he's not a citizen here. This could. He's a citizen. Oh, he's a citizen now? When?
But he wasn't born. A while ago. He wasn't born. Canada and South.
Right.
Oh, okay. My bad. Well, you say you got citizenship in Canada? Okay. Is he an American citizen? Oh, naturalized. My fault. So thanks for the correction, Ty. I got corrected. But this guy's made the majority of his money off of federal government contracts. And now he's found another problem. And he wants his company, SpaceX, to take over. What are your thoughts on this?
This is just another way for a billionaire to get more money. Greed, selfishness, and all the above. But I mean, we know who's running the show, and they allowed him to come in there and do it, and it's only a matter of time. I mean, I think what's more worrisome is it's just not the contracts and the money he's getting. He's like running all through the system. It's, people who voted for who they voted for is allowing him to let him do it. So, I mean, there's a part of me that's on some, I hope it do happen because we told you so. And it's just a fact of, I know maybe he might be American citizen. We all know he not from here. So why even got a dude up in there snooping around in things he shouldn't be snooping around in?
Yeah, and again, thanks to my engineer for correcting me because he is a naturalized citizen. Because I know there's going to be people in the comments, look, you didn't even know that. Yeah, you didn't know. All right, cool. Right. Yeah. You got me there. But to your point, he didn't go to our high school metaphorically.
No.
He didn't grow up in our high school from the metaphor side.
Right.
So to see him becoming an uber billionaire off of federal contracts, I'm like, and here's the thing. I'm not saying there isn't a problem with the FAA, with the air traffic control system, because we've been seeing some craziness in the news.
Yeah, I know.
Planes landing on upside down. And here's a little sidebar. To that plane that flipped over and landed and those passengers survived, the passengers came out and said that airline company wanted to offer them $20,000 or $30,000. Y'all better hold out and get y'all money. Because I'm sorry. If I survive a plane crash and I'll put this in the air that I never have to go through nothing traumatizing like that, you're coming out of your pockets, man. Because I'm going to be so traumatized on every YouTube video. I'm going to be having flashbacks. And Ty, you taking $30,000 for surviving a plane crash? Yeah, we're going to be happy for living, but $30,000, nah.
Yeah, you got to do better.
You're going to have to put my grandkids through school. Here's another thought, though. Here's another thing that popped in my head. I see why a lot of elders in our family hated flying. My grandmother has never took a plane. What about yours when she was living?
No. Yeah, they didn't like doing planes. You know, my grandfather.
Drive
he stayed
20 hours to Mississippi.
20, don't blink an eye. I'd just be looking like, yo, man.
Yo, you jumping in the back of this car?
Yeah, you bugging out.
Yo, Unc, ain't no knee space.
Yeah.
You be all right. You back there cramped up for 22 hours.
Knocked out.
Hitting every pothole.
Oh, man.
Yo,
Never
so
again.
I'm not saying it's not a problem because trust me, we grew up taking cars.
Right.
But goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God.
Over or under for everybody in here, how many more contracts or major departments that we see that you think Elon Musk might take over? Ty, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh, he's gonna take.
Yep.
Because he gets air traffic controller. We might see him take over half of the major departments within these next 2 years before the midterm election. And that's what's scary.
Very scary. Very scary.
Another current event, and this one is even bigger. So Elon Musk, yeah, that's a little talking point. He, ha, ha. But this one is even bigger that needs to be talked about. Come here. Let me speak into the camera. The measles are making a comeback. The measles are making a comeback. Article, source, CNN. Child in West Texas is the first U.S. measles death in decades.
What? How is that having a comeback? What are they not taking the vaccines no more?
Nah. You know people anti-vax. They don't believe in the science of vaccines, even though for those of us who went to elementary school, what vaccine did we have to take before we went to elementary school? Measles, mumps, and rubella.
Yeah.
They darn near eradicated measles where there was no outbreaks in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like that was a thing of the past. Same thing I keep saying with chickenpox. And again, I'm not trying to make people take vaccines. That's not my job. You do your own research and I respect everybody's opinions. But I am going to say there's a reason why you haven't seen somebody with the chickenpox walking around in a very, very long time. You haven't saw a kid catch the chickenpox in about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I haven't heard any.
I grew up with the chickenpox. I had it at 8, and then literally before it got out my system, my little sister got it. That was in the early 90s. And you said you had it.
Yeah.
So our generation grew up with the chickenpox.
Yeah.
When the last time you seen one of these young kids in their teens or 20s catch the chickenpox? Why do you think that is? So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of this article. Basically, a child was unvaccinated and had to be hospitalized in Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock, Texas. I'm sorry. And pretty much, unfortunately, the child passed away from being unvaccinated. The number of confirmed measles cases has been reported in outbreak in West Texas is now 124 people with the measles. 124 people with the measles. I'm sorry. Let me tone it down before they say I'm fear-mongering. I know I'm fear-mongering about the measles coming back.
Right.
Do you think I should give them a history lesson on what the measles is?
I think you should, sir.
Okay. For the people who are younger, who are under the age of 30, it's basically a mass outbreak. It's a disease that can carry through the air or through the respiratory system. The symptoms sometimes don't appear for like a couple weeks. So you can have it within your system and it could be dormant for like 2 weeks. There's really no treatment for it. It's pretty much like a rasp, and it also attacks your respiratory system. Let me bring this up. Give me a second. From the World Health Organization, I wanted to bring up a reputable article. The measles, here's some key facts, is a highly contagious, serious airborne disease caused by a virus that can be led to serious complications and death. Measles vaccinations averted more than 60 million deaths between 2000 and 2023. I'll say that again. Measles vaccinations averted more than 60 million deaths between 2000 and 2023. The measles can affect anybody, but it's more common in children. So for the people that want to roll the dice, it's not going to affect us, middle-aged and older people, but it will wipe some kids away for the people who care about kids. You know, you care about your little sons or daughters that's in school around a bunch of other sick little kids coughing around December. And, you know, around the time everybody gets sick. An estimated of 100,000 people died from the measles in 2023, mostly children under age of 5 years old. Wouldn't that be a terrible way to lose a young child when you don't have to lose that young child by if they're vaccinated? But again, I'm with everybody. It's your choice. I'm not forcing a vaccine on you. So I laid the context of what is measles. I gave some key facts. I read an article or two. And it's talking about a slow outbreak happening in Texas. What are your thoughts?
I mean, well, first, let me ask a question. So before, you used to have to get vaccinated, didn't you?
You couldn't get into school without, like, when we grew up, I couldn't register for school. I remember being pinned down because I hated needles as a 5-year-old. I remember my stepfather pinning me down at the office while they gave me 5 shots in my leg. Like, I had to get those shots or I couldn't go to school. Yeah,
my son had to get vaccinations. Yeah.
Like, it was no choice about it because they're not trying to see an outbreak of measles. And, another thing that the measles does that really takes people out, unfortunately, and I hate to be graphic, it swells your brain. That's the severe case, which usually leads to death in the children. Your brain gets swelled.
But you
Go
know,
ahead.
With us, because your kids are vaccinated, right? Yeah, mine are too. Yeah, mine
ain't got no choice.
They got no choice either. I think they're misinforming. I don't think it's not the fact that you get vaccinated, it's the amount of times of the vaccinations. That's what I think it is. Usually, I think that they're misleading us all wrong, just from my perspective. I'm not saying I'm a doctor and I know. Usually, you usually supposed to get your vaccinations. That wasn't affecting people. It's the number of vaccinations they were getting. So if you get your measles vaccination, you need to get that. If you get your chicken, whatever the vaccinations are, I forgot because it's been so long. Those are needed. But when you keep doing it multiple times, like the COVID shot, I don't believe you need to be. You took that first time, you should be straight. But some take it more than once, and that's fine. There also could be repercussions for it. I'm not sure. I'm just saying to everybody, but yes, you do need to take that vaccination. You can't just not take a vaccination. I get why, especially for people of color. I know exactly why.
Yeah, I know.
We're wary of it, but it's been proven through the years those vaccinations need to be taken. You know, so I mean, it's at your own risk. And let me tell you something, because there's also a side shot here. Like they'll say, well, if you look at Amish people, they don't get vaccinated. Yeah, but they're within their community. They don't go outside. They're like within their, like, so say like this room, right?
Yeah.
This is their whole community. That's it. So of course they don't get it because they're quarantined from the rest of the world.
And let me say this: there's some things that the
rest of the world.
There's some things that Amish people do that you're not going to do as a regular person.
Yeah, come on, man. So I just wanted to put that out there because I was hearing that and I was like, yeah, but they're kind of like old school and they're like
they have their own dairy farm. Some of them drink like unpasteurized milk and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
There's some things that the Amish people do that you're not going to be too keen on, but I'll leave that there.
Yeah.
So here's some questions that I have from this about the measles coming back and there being a small outbreak in Lubbock. I can't pronounce this. Can you pronounce the L word? Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
We already had America shut down for COVID, and people can call it a conspiracy theory, and I get it. But it did shut down America. A lot of businesses shut down, and a lot of jobs were lost. If there's a measles outbreak, over or under, you think we'll see a second shutdown?
Over. We will.
I don't think people understand how severe the measles are. Ty, you think you're gonna be outside if there's a measles outbreak in New York?
Nope.
That's you thought COVID was serious and everybody's masking up. That's a contagious disease, so that's different from it being airborne. That's your kids coming home from school, rubbing the other kids in school, and they come home and they're in your face. Now the whole house got it.
Yeah, you're right.
If y'all was so concerned about a shutdown before and about businesses were being lost and lives were being lost, my God, I hope they can contain what's going on in Texas and it doesn't spread. And I guess RFK Jr. They asked him about it. He tried to quiet it down, and Trump said some things about it. But I think people might want to keep an eye on what's going on. And again, I'm not trying to fearmonger. You guys can look it up on your own. There's a CNN article and other articles, but this kind of put me on high alert. Like, we've only been back outside for 3 years after a shutdown.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 years, kind of, really.
Yeah.
Like, we're just now getting back in the flow of things.
Correct.
Work, this social living, just going over somebody's house and not feeling awkward. Like,
right.
I feel like we're back normal, and I'm like, damn, what if we have a shutdown before the next president election?
Like, not another one. You know what I mean? Not another one.
Yeah. So, rest in peace to the kid who passed away from that. It's sad to see. You guys can do your own research on vaccines and on what measles is and how severe it is, and do your own due diligence. But that's not an outbreak that we want to see spread.
Not at all.
So let's travel over to sports. We touched on hip hop. We touched on events in our community with Black Excellence with NAACP awards. We talked a little politics, but we also talk sports on this podcast.
Right.
Let's start here. News came out today that Joel Embiid is shutting it down for the season. And once again, he is missing more games than he's played.
Right.
That's one. Put a pin in that. The second thing that came out a few days ago was y'all man Paul George, or George Paul, or however you want to call him. Hi, guys. I'm going to put my podcast on the back burner and focus on basketball. When did you figure that out, George Paul? Paul George? When did you figure out that you needed to take basketball serious? So before I go into a mirage of questions and bullet points I have for the Philadelphia 76ers, for Joel Embiid, for Paul George, and players of this era that are failing the league, what are your thoughts overall on the Sixers' failure and Paul George and the news about Joel Embiid?
First of all, the Sixers messed up. Daryl Morey, who's the general manager, you know, he dropped the ball on this. Because first of all, Joel Embiid, let me start there. I don't understand why they gave him. We talked about this earlier. Like, I'm not shocked, because they came into the season starting saying, "Yo, he's gonna miss at least 50 games."
That's the majority of the season.
That's what you said to your fan base, really? And mind you, he played the Olympics and he limped his behind into the Olympics playing on one leg.
And got a gold medal.
And then circled around and was like, yo, I'm only going to play 50 games. I'm not going to play 50 games this year. Right? And then on top of that, he didn't look right when he started. It just was a mess from the get-go. And mind you, on top of all this, you turned around and gave the man a 3-year, $190 million guaranteed extension. My God, knowing his history, after what he pulled at the Olympics, I didn't give him nothing. I'd be like, no, you're going to have to figure that out. Like, because I can't do this. You limping on one leg into the Olympics. Hear what I'm saying? It didn't happen during the Olympics. You limped into the Olympics to play.
He was already injured.
Right. It limped your ass up in there to play. And then I'm gonna give you an extension. I told you go ahead.
You got it.
Yeah, you got it. And see, but part of that's the problem. Then you turn around and you want me to go into the Paul George thing?
Yeah.
I did.
Go
and
ahead.
then Paul George, who's the other one,
I gotta put my podcast on the back burner.
See, and that's what everybody's seeing. But what everybody else is not seeing is the poor play he was giving. And
I see it.
Stephen A. Smif was trying to. I don't want to use the words condone it, but trying to make us understand that he's really not happy and he did it for the money. But this you can't put a price on.
Can I
happiness.
say this real quick?
Yeah.
I know Paul George has his fanfare. He has his fan base, and people love Paul George. Let me say this. Paul George is on the backside of his prime. He ain't in his 20s. He's not even in his early 30s. He's 34 years old. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
For somebody to have a podcast, not named Draymond Green, who won multiple championships, because we understood Draymond Green because he's a winner.
Right.
What has Paul George won to warrant him to be podcasting during the season?
He hasn't been relevant since he was in Indiana, and he was playing with I forgot who he's playing with, but they ain't been relevant since that. And they were looking to take down LeBron.
So somebody would say, "Well, cut it out. He's an all-star." Yes, okay, he's an all-star. And I'm not saying the NBA gives out all-star awards. He's an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
He's a one-time first teamer. Jason Tatum is four-time first team All-American. I'm sorry, 4-time All-NBA first team, and he's 26 years old. Paul George is 34.
Jesus.
5-time All-NBA third team. He's really a third-team player.
Mm.
When you're a third-team player, you're like on the backside of a top 20 list.
Right.
I don't know nobody who has Paul George as a top 20 player. But you're podcasting. We're going somewhere with this, talking about the Joel Embiids, talking about the Paul Georges, because we talked about this last podcast of y'all slowly putting the owners in a position where they're going to start taking guaranteed money out of NBA contracts.
Yep.
I know the next collective bargaining agreement isn't until 2028, but that's right around the corner. That's only 3 years away.
Yeah.
The owners now have data.
Yeah.
The NBA governors, the governors. The NBA governors now have data to back up what they're going to negotiate with.
Right.
You guys want to raise during the next contract? Well, this player missed 50 games. This player is getting tattoos. This player is telling the owner, the league manager, that he doesn't want to be the face of the NBA. I know you heard about that.
Yeah,
with
Anthony
Edwards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This player got baby mama drama that's all over here. This player ain't win nothing. The viewership is down. This is what y'all don't want. You don't think those owners have a data sheet?
Yeah.
Those owners have a detailed data sheet of what they're putting out as far as guaranteed contracts and the money your favorite players are getting. The Joel Embiids, the Paul Georges, the Kawhi Leonards. And they're going to say, I think we need to start having clauses within this. Meaning if you miss 30% of the season, we get to take 30% of your money.
Doesn't sound bad to me.
If you miss more than 2 years on an injury, we have the rights to renegotiate your contract and void it. I know this sounds crazy, but that next collective bargaining agreement is going to be crazy for the players. And y'all got nobody to blame but yourself.
Facts.
What do you got to say?
I think it's just getting it. It's the players are starting to sound crazy. Like y'all. I don't think
spoiled brats.
Yeah, I don't think they. And did you see the thing today about where they went after the TNT show? What is it? NBA Showtime.
About what?
Just players being criticized, and they just seem like they're hating. Or I forgot what.
Constructive criticism has always been used as hating. Can somebody tell me something? What has the Philadelphia 76ers done during Joel Embiid's tenure? The process, right?
He
got drafted out of college. What happened? He had to sit that season because of an injury. And then I think he had to damn near sit the majority of the second year because of injury. Because they were trying to do something funny with getting those first round picks.
Right.
What has the process in the 76ers look like in 10 years?
Yeah, good. Not good. The only time they had that chance is when Kawhi was in Toronto and he made that shot that bounced off the rim and went in.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They don't got nothing else. They don't got nothing else. They haven't been relevant since that. And the crazy part about it is, like, you look like y'all look crazy out here. Y'all don't understand it. Like, at some point, y'all got to step up. And I don't feel bad for it. I don't. It's not that I feel bad. I feel bad for those kids coming behind them.
Mm-hmm.
That it's all gonna fall down on. Like Kevin Durant's crybaby and ass. Like every time I turn around, these players see the only reason Kyrie's not saying anything right now, because they say, well, look at Kyrie's in Dallas. He hasn't seen it because he ain't got nowhere else to go.
Sure enough,
Ain't nobody gonna babysit you. You and all that mess that was going on in Brooklyn. Kevin Durant, everywhere he goes, this guy cries.
Well, it's not just that. It's okay. We wanted to see if you can win one without Steph. You were in Brooklyn with 3 years. You didn't do nothing. You're now over here again with the 70s with the Suns. And what's this, year number 2?
Yeah.
So how many years is he removed from playing with Golden State?
I want to say 5.
He's 5 years removed from Golden State, and now he's in his mid to late 30s. What has he done without Golden State? He's a great player. He's an all-time great. But as far as a winning player, no. If he would win something, then it would be different. Then you can complain and cry. That's the same thing I'm saying with Paul George. Had he would have won something, and I'm not talking about a ring, just a conference championship. Had Paul George would have won a conference championship, then maybe we could see him podcasting.
Right.
Fam, the 76ers are now 12th in standing. They're 20-38.
Jesus.
They're 20-38. They're at a 34% winning record. They're at the 12th spot, and now Joel Embiid just shut it down. That's going to give life to, like, the Hornets, who are the bottom of the barrel of the Eastern Conference. The Hornets might see life the last 20 games of the season and get into a play-in spot. That's how bad y'all are as a team, as a collective. And y'all rolling the dice on a 30-year-old, mind you, he's still semi-young, but who has never been healthy his whole tenure. And y'all wonder why Luka got traded? These owners are pulling the plug a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think he's going to get traded in the offseason?
With Joel?
Yeah.
They're going to try to save it.
Tied up.
No. They're going to try to savor it for one more year. And then after that, they're going to get rid of him. To me, I would just blow the team up. But they gave him that 3-year, $190 million.
My thing is, because you see how injured he is now, one more year is just going to mean he's a year older. So now teams is going to say, well, we ain't giving you no first-round picks. What are you going to get from Joel Embiid next year?
What they do is they might sit him down and they might tank.
Now that's what they're doing. They're going to tank.
Yeah.
And do what?
Yeah.
Do what? Say he's going to play 40 games next year?
Right.
With a top draft pick? Y'all are making Tyrese Maxey job a lot harder than what it has to be. So
I would build around
Maxey.
I would build around Maxey at this point. Just leave him alone. Look, I mean, they're shut down for the whole season, right? They shut him down. They're probably not going to be well. So if they're at the bottom, they're going to have a chance to get a top draft pick. Let's see. They just blow up the team, man. You can still trade Paul George and get something. You can still trade Paul George. So if Paul George, because you know Paul George is not going to take you to the promised land. So you can basically rebuild around
what promised land, boy.
Yeah. I don't know why he keeps getting these deals. These players, and they're going to say,
NBA Twitter, NBA Internet, help me out. Y'all tell me the best attributes as Paul George as a winner. How is he getting these deals? What has a Paul George-led team led to?
Nothing.
Did he win anything in OKC with Russ?
Nope.
Did he win anything in Indiana?
Nope.
Did he win anything with Kawhi Leonard over there in the Clippers?
Nope.
What is he doing right now with the Sixers?
But losing? Don't know. But these players are going to start understanding, like, it's just getting tiring. As far as Philly, though, to keep elaborating on Philly, I think that they're going to have to just make a choice. Once Joel went down, if I'm the GM or in the ownership, if I'm the owner, I'm telling the GM, yo, look, let's figure out a way to build around Bridges because we clearly this ain't going. We already know where this is going. Let's just wait it out one more year and let's start looking to this building without him playing. That's basically what it boils down to. Because this guy's not gonna play. He's done. He's done. I mean, hear what I'm saying, and I know you can bounce back, but he went into the season saying he was already gonna miss 50 games. That's before the ball even was tipped off. And now he's shut down for the rest of the season. So it can't be getting no better as he's starting to go he's starting to get older. As you get older, you don't heal as fast.
Nope.
So
especially after 30. With a knee issue?
Yeah. So now this is gonna become more than what we expected. And I mean that's what it's gonna be. You gave him 3 years, $190 million. And Daryl Morey's gonna go. He's gonna have to go. I can tell you right now, you're gonna lose your job for that. That's a no. You don't give no guy with that stage. And I can see if he had a track record of like Shaq where he's winning you titles.
Boston been kicking their ass ever since.
3 years, $190 million guaranteed. Yeah, they gonna send him all right.
Like we said in the last podcast, what are our views again that we're gonna reiterate on these current day superstars that are showing their ass in the league?
What's the end game? You said?
Yeah, what's the end game? Because what I'm seeing doesn't look good.
Well, what's gonna happen is that, like I said, a lot of these players are on their way out the door. It's the guys that's coming behind them that's gonna get screwed. And they're not, like you said, it might be to a point where they're not getting any guaranteed money. Then what you gonna do? You get what I'm saying? What are you gonna do then? So it just goes to show like they're being selfish, they're being inconsiderate, and they're making the product look bad. They don't want to play, man. They just don't look like they be wanting to play.
They don't want to play. They don't want to be the face of the league. They don't want to participate in a dunk contest. Y'all letting a G leaguer beat y'all in a dunk contest and motivate y'all talking about, oh, well, I think next year I might participate. You should have been participating in a dunk contest. Y'all should have been taking the All-Star game a little more serious.
Yeah.
Because it's all one product. It all has to do with viewership. What helps you out pocket?
They don't see that, though.
Nope. Like I said in the last podcast, there's a couple Rough Riders coming out of this draft. This next draft, they're coming to snatch chains. Not just this upcoming draft, but the other one, too. So this one, y'all know we got Cooper Flagg, we got Dylan Harper from Rutgers, we got Ace Bailey, and some other players. The next draft, the following year, that's when AJ Debinesta comes out.
From BYU, right?
From BYU. I already told you, AJ Debinesta is NBA ready now. He just has to make a pit stop at BYU to get that NIL money. But the players from this upcoming draft, the Cooper Flaggs, the Dylan Harpers, the Ace Baileys, and the players from the next draft are coming to snatch chains. They about to debo y'all for y'all chains.
Yep.
Oh, you don't want to be the face of the league?
Yeah.
Let me take that from you.
Just like that.
Oh, you don't want to enter the dunk contest? Let me take that from you. You don't want to play hard and get these accolades so we can earn this money, make this product look good? Let me take that up off your neck. Because I know for a fact Ace Bailey and AJ Debinesta, AJ specifically, you can tell when you look at an athlete, he's already built like a grown man.
Right.
At 6'9", with a long wingspan. There's not a lot of players his size that's built like that at that age. So when he comes into the league at 19 or 20 years old, he's going to be housing people.
Right.
He's going to be taking your lunch money. So y'all got 1 or maybe 2 seasons at best to continue to play around. Y'all got 1 or 2 seasons at best to not enter the All-Star game and take it serious or the dunk contest. Or let me say this, not the fat shame, to lose weight and get in shape. Player making $200-something million need to be told to actually get your body fat down so you won't be injured. Because that's playing a part of his hamstring injuries and so forth. It's the weight that he's carrying. Yes, when he's healthy, he's a triple-double.
Yeah.
But he ain't been that healthy.
He ain't never healthy. You're talking about Zion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never healthy.
He was in the media again for getting a damn anime tattoo on his stomach. That's what he was in the media. This is the NBA product. You're in the media because you got a Naturo. I guess that's the anime show, Naturo. My fault. Don't kill me, anime crowd.
Right.
But getting that tattoo symbol around his belly button.
Mm.
And then, yeah, he had 1 or 2 good games. That's what we're getting.
Jesus.
That's the hype around the NBA. What let me ask you, who's the rivalry right now? That was a trick question.
Yeah,
We don't.
question.
There's not been a good rivalry.
Yeah, I haven't seen one lately. I haven't seen one at all.
Outside the Celtics, yes, there are other teams. We just got our butts kicked by Detroit. Now, there are some good stories. Shout out to Detroit. People are not paying attention. Detroit is slowly coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's another team in the West Coast? Shout out to M.A. Udoka. I know they try to kick him out the league. He's coaching the hell out that team.
Yeah, he is.
Those are the stories in the NBA. What about your Knicks? You thought I was letting them off the hook. Oh, you over there quiet.
Yo, no. The Knicks.
Hey, yo, gang. He over there wearing a Knicks hoodie.
That's right. Knicks to death.
Shout out to New York, though, boy.
Nah,
what are your thoughts for the New York Knicks?
I think, well, they won the other night, but they need to pick it up defensively. I think
we shredded them.
I think somewhere along the line, Thibodeau was on some, we're going to do, we're going to work it out. We're going to figure this out. We're going to be a little bit more offensively. But I think they just went completely offensively and went off the grid defensively. And I think now it's catching up to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they said they hoping for Mitchell Robertson to come back in the lineup. If I'm correct. Is OG Anunoby playing or is he injured?
I don't know. I didn't.
Gotcha. Because I'm not in tune with the roster like that.
Yeah.
But defensively, you ain't lying.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. So the other night it seemed like they held a team under. They won 110-105. So if they can keep it like that, then yeah. But if they're starting to try to outscore everybody, then it's going to be a problem. It's going to catch up in the end.
Good luck, man. I just, as a fan of basketball, like, it's not like we're the two old heads ranting and raving and sounding crazy because we're just old and stuck on what happened in the 90s. No, we love this product.
Right.
Not this. Let me rephrase that. We love the way NBA could be at its highest form. You remember that early 2000 era where you had Tracy McGrady, where you had Allen Iverson, where you had Kobe Bryant, where you had Tim Duncan. That was a golden era of basketball.
Yeah.
We saw Allen Iverson 6 foot behind, 150 pounds flying around, getting banged up, getting up in play all season.
Correct.
We saw Ray Allen. We saw my man Paul Pierce. He came from getting stabbed and played all 80 games. Players were putting their bodies on the line and they weren't making a third of the money. Some of those players are barely making $80 million in salary compared to these new players who are making $100 million in 2 years.
Yeah. Just crazy.
I'll say that in context. Some of our favorite players from that 2000 era, they may have saw $100 million. And I know that's a lot of money. But look at what the players of today are making. And they're saying they don't want to play. What? Before we end this off, what do you think are some things that should be done for these type of players?
The ones that don't want to play, let them go. Let them out. Trust me, it'll always be worth it in the end. Do you really want that cancer in your locker room? Because the young players are going to see that and they think they can move like that. And they really have no ability and control. So, it just boggles my brain. I can get when some of the players are emotional and they, you know what I mean, and all that. But this ain't got nothing to do with that. This is just them doing what they want to do and showing their ass. And you should be grateful I'm playing tonight and all that.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, it'll all come crashing down. But like I said, it's the young boys that's going to feel the pain of it.
They're gonna. That's why I said those young boys are coming to snatch chains.
Yeah,
they're gonna be looking at y'all like food.
Yep.
When Cooper Flag sees some of y'all, he's gonna be like, "Oh, y'all food." Yeah. When Ace Bailey see y'all, he gonna be like, "That's food." When AJ Debonesta see you, your chain is getting snatched because half of y'all are gonna be food to 6'10" AJ Debonesta.
Right.
That boy is a monster, man. That's my only hope. So when the younger players have to fix it, they're going to fix it with an attitude problem, and it's going to come with their foot in your ass. Yeah, man. But process over.
Mm-hmm.
Blow it up. Paul George, please don't ever pick up a podcast again.
Yeah.
Don't, like, please.
It just gets to ridiculous. And I know they're trying to further their careers after the sports, but
You can do that in the off season.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, that's not a good.
Give me a conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me a conference championship, Paul George?
Yeah.
Got anything else you want to add?
No. I just let me say this one more thing. I think it's just sad that these players, and trust me, none of them will be around. They'll be somewhere else collecting their money. I think it's just sad and selfish of the way that they're leaving the game. You know, Jordan didn't leave the game like that. Barkley didn't leave the game like that. Iverson, you know, all the guys.
Kobe, Tim Duncan.
None of them lived the game like that. The way these guys are moving now, I'm just overly shocked. You know,
just sad.
Extremely.
So that includes our podcast where we discuss hip hop. We curate underground hip hop. Give you a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody that's going to tune in on the playback. Hope you enjoy this podcast. We got some more exclusive content. Like my partner said, make sure y'all check out the website, Enveonline, EMVE online, all one word.com. I got some more exclusive interviews coming to y'all. Like I said, really trying to curate the underground of hip hop. We got some dope sports content. Hey, yo, real quick. What Enveonline doing in sports next week?
Doing the basketball, American East basketball.
American East, which is a dope conference for Division I. What about the Big East tournament?
Big East women's tournament.
Shout out to the Big East conference. So we're going to be curating that conference, well, multiple conference with Division I basketball. So yeah, we got some dope sports content coming your way as well for all the sports heads out there.
Facts. And shouts out to well, I'll wait. Let's just say shouts out to Albany women's basketball team for solidifying the #1 spot. During the whole playoff bracket.
University of Albany women's basketball took home the American East crown.
Yes.
And if they went out tomorrow versus NJIT, there won't be no tie. That's a little college hoops coverage for you guys out there.
Right.
Yeah, salute, man. But keep tuning into Enveonline. We got some dope underground hip hop content coming. I'm gonna keep it pumping with these interviews. Real quick before we end off, salute to the people that is receptive to interviewing on this platform. I appreciate every artist that reaches out.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't take it for granted. I feel lucky to be able to be in a position to tell your story or be a part of your story. I had the pleasure of interviewing some dope underground artists as of recently, and I got some more coming. For the people that's checking out my shirt, I'm rocking this from Casablanca the God, who's a dope MC from Buffalo. So real quick, salute the Casablanca the God from Buffalo. Buffalo got some heat, man. It's not just Benny the Butcher, Westside Gun, and Conway. They got a whole movement out in Buffalo.
Right.
Same thing out in Rochester, same thing out in Syracuse, and same thing out in our city of Albany. But salute the Casablanca the God for sending his merch, his manager, Damo. Big shout out to Damo. You came through with that package, and I heavily appreciate it. So salute.
Facts.
Go support his merchandise. He dropped the album. I can't say the word, so I'll switch the lingo up. Ninjalations. I can't say the N word because, but Ninjalations Volume 2, the Book of Ninjalations. Salute to his whole movement. Salute to everything happening in the underground. Like I said, I'm going to keep screaming to the rooftops on this podcast while we're curating underground hip hop. If you're in the boom bap hip hop, if you're in the rap, we are currently leading in another renaissance of hip hop. There is no age range on what's happening right now. The leaders of what's happening are over the age of 35 and they're dropping dope art. The leaders are giving us some heat right now. They're giving us some dope artwork. They're giving us quality.
Right.
So if you're into hip hop and you got some artists you support, really support that artist. Go buy their merchandise. Go to their site. When they got shows, show up at their shows. Show face. And let's keep this thing going, because if this continues to swell for the underground, I think some good things could happen pretty soon, man. Got anything else you want to add?
Nah. I think you said enough for us. I think you put it best. You can't put it no better than that.
As I always say when I end the podcast, appreciate anybody who watches us, whether it's one person or whether it's 100 or 1,000 people. Salute to everybody who tunes into us on our platforms, on the website, on the YouTube, on the Spotify. As always, I'm your host, one half of Enveonline, son of a Jones.
And your partner, Azar Johnson.
Salute to y'all, man.
Stay tuned.